Sardar RP Singh, why is the BJP riding on the back of statements made by a frustrated Pakistani player? Shahid Afridi, according to some reports, had some cousin killed, a terrorist cousin killed by security forces, and he's been very frustrated ever since. So why use his statement to target a respected leader of opposition in our country?
Gaurav, good evening. I have a different take to this complete subject. My take is that it's a payback time by the deep state of the Pakistan, and Shahid Afridi is a frontman of the deep state of the Pakistan ISI, because congressmen gave clean chit to to the Operation Sindoor on account of Operation Sindoor. Right? Remember Chidambaram Sahib saying that, oh, they were not the terrorists, they were not the Pakistani terrorists. Where is the proof that they were the Pakistani terrorists? The leader Siddaramaiah, leader from Maharashtra, all of them were trying to give clean chit to the Pakistani terrorists during Operation Sindoor. And now, since the Bihar election is on the head, so it's a way of giving it back to the Congress party, and it's a way to oblige the Congress party back. And it has not happened the first time. It has happened earlier also. Remember, after 370, abrogation of 370, Rahul Gandhi said, oh, Kashmiri Galiyon mein katlo gaya, there is a bloodshed happening in the Kashmir. And exactly the same was verbatim quoted by no less than Imran Khan in UN Assembly.
Okay, stay with me for a moment. Stay with me for a moment. Let me get Dr. Pooja Tripathi to respond. Dr. Tripathi, respond to the BJP saying this is the Pakistani deep state saying thank you to Rahul Gandhi and promoting him.
Good evening to Gaurav and to my fellow panelists. I think this humors me and also makes my blood boil in anger. The audacity to question Rahul Gandhi. This is the same government which is shockingly spineless, brazenly shameless, unprincipled, and that chose, profit and spectacle over compassion and sensitivity to 26 people killed in dastardly Pahalgam attack and 17 people killed in crossfire and Punch. They went ahead and they didn't call off the match, India-Pakistan match, and you have shown the visuals of this gentleman who was breaking bread, stylishly sitting down in the podium and breaking bread, and I'm sure Beer later works with Shahid Afridi. It was not Rahul Gandhi, it was Anurag Thakur. And then there was this hearty laugh with this gentleman, as if two long lost friends have been united. It was not Rahul Gandhi, it was Junior Shah. So, the audacity to call Rahul Gandhi, non-patriotic or question him on his credential, causing he's a Pakistan favorite. If you want to take credentials about Rahul Gandhi's politics of compassion, empathy and love, you can take credentials from that Rameshwar Sabziwala, from Cheteshwar Mochiji, and also from the 17 children who have been orphaned in Punch, who have been adopted by Rahul Gandhi. We don't need any testimonial from Shahid Afridi or any Tom, Dick and Harry who has stood against India. But government needs to answer. Ashanya Dwivedi has gone on record, gone on public and saying, if you play with Pakistan, you are playing with our emotions. Aswari Jagdali, whose father was killed, is this how you honor the Sindhu?
Okay.
This is not question, not my question. And this is a question on every Indian. Why in the world did you go ahead with the India-Pakistan match?
Let me get RP Singh to respond before I throw it open for a wider discussion. RP Singh, why blame Rahul Gandhi for being praised by Shahid Afridi? Congress has put out that video of Shahid Afridi with BJP's Anurag Thakur and ICC Chief Jay Shah and asks, ye yarana kyun? Explain this friendship.
Gaurav, I reiterate my point again. It's being paid. He's a payback time by the Pakistanis, the deep state of Pakistan, keeping in mind the Bihar election and helping Congress to consolidate certain vote bank. That's why he's appreciating Rahul Gandhi, saying that there is no better leader than Rahul Gandhi. And as I said, it's not happened first time, it has happened earlier also. But
are you saying if Shahid Afridi, no sir, that's a very dangerous statement. Sir, are you saying if Shahid Afridi praises Rahul Gandhi will get more votes from a certain vote bank in Bihar? Is that what you're saying?
That can be one of the targets. That can be reasoned. Otherwise, why would Shahid Afridi all of a sudden come out of you and I interrupted you, ma'am. I never interrupted you. This is very bad of the Congress leaders.
Okay, Dr. Tripathi, Let Sardar RP Singh complete his point. I'll come to you, ma'am, before I throw it open, because that's a very, very big statement and a very dangerous statement. So are you implying that Indian Muslims will get impacted by a Pakistani Muslim, Shahid Afridi, praising Rahul Gandhi and vote for Rahul Gandhi?
Well, it's something like when Mr. Chidambaram said that those terrorists were not the Pakistani terrorists. So that didn't deter away from the fact that they were the Pakistanis. But Mr. Chidambaram gave them the clean chit. I mean, we don't know what could be the reason for Mr. Chidambaram to give the clean chit to the Pakistani terrorists. But yes, the Pakistani TV, the Pakistani deep state would have been very happy with that. So similarly here also, what will be the outcome here, we don't know. But somehow help Rahul Gandhi because of Bihar election and help him by
Sanjay Jha
saying
is
that
from
he's a
Bihar.
good leader, he's the best of the leader.
Can
And
you
this
okay.
India
Dr.
has a
Tripathi, give me a
statement
moment.
sent outside to the Pakistan also.
Okay, 30 seconds, Dr. Tripathi, before I bring in Sanjay Jha.
It's a very dangerous statement made by Sardar RP Singh, and he should apologize. An Indian Muslim is as much as an Indian as you, as me, or as Gaurav. And he doesn't need certificates of patriotism from some Shahid Afridi while saying that, he's garnering
Rahul,
BJP.
tell this to Rahul Gandhi.
Equating
Okay.
an Indian Muslim to
Sir, just let her complete her
Tell
point.
this
I'll
to
come to
Rahul
you.
Gandhi, not to me.
You should be ashamed of calling an Indian Muslim.
Tell this to Rahul Gandhi. It's not the first time it's happening.
Pakistani
Fawad
from Delhi.
Chaudhary,
And you should
Imran Khan.
statement. They don't need certificates of patriotism. They don't need certificates of being Indian from you and from
Fair enough.
anybody in India. And they are as much as an Indian as you and me. And this is so dangerous. What you are trying to make.
Why Rahul Gandhi is favorite of Pakistani leaders and Pakistani cricketers and Pakistani stars? Why is he so favorite of them?
Towards India, they're coming towards India. And every turn of events, you just go ahead and question their patriotism, they question their loyalty towards country. I think you should be ashamed of making this statement.
General Meston, sorry to drag you into a political part of this debate, but Pakistan's ISI would like nothing more than principal ruling party and principal opposition party in India bicker over Pakistan instead of standing united to take on Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror. But what is your reading of the BJP saying? There is a long connection from Soros to Shahid Afridi. According to the BJP, INC stands for Islamabad National Congress.
Gaurav, good evening. I think the Pakistan chief statement is very, very important to be quoted here. On 16th April, just 6 days prior to Pahalgam attack, he had stated very clearly that Hindus and Muslims are separate and they cannot coexist together. And of course, then he talked about Kashmir being a jugular vein. So why I'm quoting this statement is Pakistan's strategy is, and you rightfully used one word, would the Indian Muslims get influenced by Pakistani Muslims? The answer is absolutely no. This is what Asim Munir wants. He wants India to be divided between the Indian Muslims and the Indian Hindus and the rest of the population. And we shall not fall into this trap. And otherwise, we'll be just, falling into the trap of Asim Munir. That is one thing. Second is Afridi. He himself is a Afridi Pathan. And his roots are actually in Afghanistan. This gentleman should be reminded that in Afghanistan, his own brethren, now I'm talking about Afghani Muslims, they love India, number one, maximum, irrespective of India, India, they really love us. And they hate which nation.
My only point where I don't agree with you, Shahid Afridi is no gentleman. Shahid Afridi is clearly not a gentleman, but you being a soldier, always polite. But Nikhil Naz, what explains these rants of these frustrated Pakistani former players? It's not just Yunus Yohana or Shahid Afridi. There's a long list.
Well, that's right, Gaurav. What explains it? I think it's clearly a difference of class, clearly a difference of upbringing. I think we should take offense to what Mohammad Yusuf has done here, that big slur that he's directed at the Indian captain. You must remember, he's not just a captain of a sporting team, he's India's ambassador there. So with this sort of a slur that he's directed at an Indian captain, he's actually abusing the entire country. So I think this is something that needs to be taken very seriously. And then on the second front, शाहिद अफरीदी सेज कि मैं तो हमेशा से कह रहा हूं इनके दिल उतने बड़े नहीं जितने हमारे होते हैं. Just to talk about that dill, they go on to talk in their cricket shows. All those examples that you put down, they're talking about those fictional stories from May 10th where they supposedly brought down the Rafales in a cricket show. I must tell you, Gaurav, I also conducted cricket shows both in English and Hindi after the India-Pakistan game was done. We also had cricketers of repute in a Harbhajan Singh and a Sunil Gavaskar. None of them ever spoke about Operation Sindoor or anything political or had these sort of things to say about Pakistan. All we discussed was performances. Who did well here, who did well there. And these are cricketing shows that they're sitting on. That actually goes on to tell you kiske dil kitne bade hain, kitne chote hain.
Oh, absolutely. Because Pakistanis are very petty-minded and very petty people. Apart from calling them Disgustistan, the other name that Ritanshu and I and our team we were discussing was Pettistan, not Pakistan. Sanjay Jha. It's a rather petty country, but and people. But Sanjay Jha, BJP talks of Congress's yarana with Pakistan, saying it's very old. You heard Sardar RP Singh saying from Article 370 to surgical strikes to 26/11. BJP takes it back to the time that Congress leaders were peddling Pakistan's agenda, calling 26/11 RSS ki sazish, when there was clear proof it was the handiwork of Pakistani terrorists trained, armed and launched by Pakistan's ISI.
Gaurav, good evening to you and to my fellow panelists. I hope you will not interrupt me. I won't take very long. I completely agree and fully endorse the defense that the Congress spokesperson, Dr. Pooja Tripathi, has made on your program today. Let me just kind of add to that argument. You are dealing in the Bharatiya Janata Party with the most shameless, hypocritical, and what I would call as a fraudulent political party. You remember Colonel Sophia Qureshi, who was the BJP leader who said that she was the sister of the terrorists who came from Pakistan? What action was taken against the gentleman from the BJP who said that? Nothing. Zero. I want to expose before the viewers. Please do not get fooled by a political party that actually makes political capital out of a divide and rule politics in India. Forget Shahid Afridi, he doesn't matter. Let's talk about the reality of what is happening in our country today. And Gaurav, you and I have debated this very often. Pahalgam massacre happened. Who was responsible? Our intelligence and security failure. Mr. Modi's government
and not Pakistani terrorists who killed.
Mr. Modi's government is blaming the Congress.
So you are not blaming the Pakistani terrorists who singled out Hindus and shot them at point blank range. They are not to be blamed.
Gaurav, you interrupted me. Here is my question. A party that could not save our own, a government that failed in protecting its own citizens in Pahalgam, a government that does a ceasefire, is so weak, is so cowardly under the pressure of Donald Trump, and it plays cricket with Pakistan. And Mr. Modi says no terror and
why do you get people who are
water and
ill-informed?
blood. I mean, how hypocritical can you
How
be?
can you get people
Fair
who are
enough.
ill-informed?
Okay, let him complete his point. I'll come to you, RP Singh, to respond to that. However, my question to you are, while I will take the BJP to the cleaners on the points you have raised on, Sophia Qureshi and her brother, or words to that effect that you've pointed out, my question to you was, how can a Congress leader release a book called 26/11 RSS ki sazish at a time when there's clear proof that this was the handiwork of Pakistan? That was my question to you, sir. And that is the time when BJP turns around and says, this is Congress giving Pakistan a clean chit, blaming RSS at a time, and now Pakistan, Shahid Afridi says, thank you, Rahul Gandhi. That's the point RP Singh is making.
RP Singh has talked the standard BJP playbook. It has zero impact. I can tell you, Gaurav, the people of India have seen through the BJP's politics inspired by the British of divide and rule. The shamelessness is exposed. I'll give you one example. When
you still haven't answered my question. Should the Congress apologize to the country for saying 26/11 RSS ki sazish when it was the work of Pakistani terrorists, sir? That's a clear...
Gaurav,
you are from Mumbai. I was there in Mumbai covering 26/11. We lost 166 people. Policemen were killed. Soldiers were killed.
Well, Gaurav, you forgot that there was the anti-terror squad chief Hemant Karkare who got slaughtered by the Pakistan terrorists. You've forgotten the BJP MP who said, we cursed him. She said, I cursed him. They
So
wanted
that
him
is why
dead.
2611 is called RSS ki sazish. For our
You're not
internal
answering my
fights,
question.
we
I
will
am
give
telling
Pakistan a
you,
clean chit.
you answered my question. You answered a
Let me
simple
get-
question. Who said during an election campaign in a divisive hate speech कि ये आपके भैंस चोरी कर लेंगे, मंगलसूत्र, मुजरा, mutton, machli, these are not hate
Internal
speeches, these are
fights,
not polarizing speeches.
all internal fights.
What are you
Why
talking
would
about?
Pakistan be given a clean chit is the only question I fail to get an answer to. However, RP Singh respond. If the Congress says RSS ki sazish for 26/11, a BJP leader says words to the effect that, you know, Colonel Sofia Qureshi ke bhai, or words to that effect, these were the people and yet she was representing our case. So how is BJP any different? And let me add to that, Pakistani media has repeatedly praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They've praised his leadership. Imran Khan, Tosha Khana case, you remember? Pakistani media was praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi's honesty. Pakistan recently praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi for standing up to Donald Trump, having an independent foreign policy. So if they can praise Prime Minister Modi, they can praise leader of opposition.
And Gaurav, who went to Nawaz Sharif's family wedding, man? How do we forget that? To have a biryani,
Okay?
vegetable biryani.
RP Singh.
Well, Sanjay Jha, how can you forget those clean chit being given by no less than Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji to Pakistan, saying that they are also the sufferer of the terrorism? Remember that, or have you forgotten that? How can you forget the statements of the Mr. Salman Khurshid, and how can you forget what Mr. What is his name, Mr. Manishankar said when he said, "Oh, help us to dislodge Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's get together and dislodge Prime Minister Narendra Modi." And how can you forget Hafiz Saeed saying Congress is my favorite party? No less than Hafiz Saeed saying that Congress is my favorite party. Gaurav, I
cricket
apologize
खेलते रहो,
for,
cricket
and my
खेलते रहो.
party is, I never interrupted you, Mr. Jha. Please hold your breath. So I and my party has already apologized for what was said for Colonel Sofia. But fact is that when will Congress stop questioning the surgical strikes, Barakot strike,
Are
Operation
rejected,
Blue,
Gaurav.
Operation Sindoor? He's
Okay.
in a bad habit. I mean, why do you get people who
Okay.
can't even see the mirror? I mean, I never interrupted you even once, Mr. Jha.
I
So,
want to bring in General Meston into this conversation for a moment. General Meston, as someone who's worn the uniform and you've always put India first, is there a message here? And, you know, purely keeping India first, is there something to read between the lines when a political party in India talks of Hindu terror and Pakistanis talk of Hindu terror, and 10 Pakistani terrorists come tying a kalawa in their hand? This is what a kalawa is. This is what Hindus very proudly wear. And all these 10 Pakistani terrorists have a Hindu name. Then when somebody calls 26/11 RSS ki sazish, so does Pakistan. Soros is seen very close to some leaders in India. And then Pakistan praises a political leader in India, and that makes headlines. Is there a subtext, as the BJP puts it?
Gaurav, you have asked me a very difficult question, but I would just sum it up in one line. If Afridi was going to watch this discussion, he would be very happy that we are giving him unnecessarily importance, and unnecessarily we are getting divided on a debate. So I personally feel that we are one India, and I think after the off Sindhu, the Prime Minister of India had conveyed a very, very clear message that India stood unified, and that is the message I, as a soldier, would like to say, that we are a unified country. We cannot be divided on religious lines, and we will not fall into that trap. I am very clear. And look, in the Indian Army, we have so many people from all religions, and we have coexisted together. That is what Munir says. We cannot coexist. But here we are coexisting, and look at the Pakistan population of Hindus. It has gone down. And look at India,
Yes.
the population has gone up. So these things show that, in India, every human being is valued. Every Indian is valued. Not human being, I would say every Indian is valued, and that is more important. And I, being in the armed forces for
Okay.
40, I'm saying it with authority because I've never felt any discrimination amongst any religion. And we have had...
Nikhil, but that's exactly the attempt that Pakistan is trying to do. petty, evil-minded country. The fact that he's calling Surya Kumar Yadav, our captain, as Suar Kumar Yadav, and that's quite by design. Himself a Christian who's converted to Islam to survive in Pakistan. And these are not isolated cases. If you look at that long list, even Shoaib Akhtar, he talks about waging Ghazwa-e-Hind against India. It's something to do with their rather radical Islamist mindset of the cricketers. Inzamamul Haq wants to convert foreign players to Islam in Pakistan.
Well, you're absolutely right. In fact, you talk about those references, political references that were made by former cricketers that I just pointed out. There's Tanveer Ahmed that's made a political statement. There is, of course, Shahid Afridi who's made that political statement. But you're right, historically as well, we've heard it from Inzamamul Haq, we've heard it from Waqar Yunus as well. And I think this then is clearly the big difference between the two teams. And I guess this is also the reason, Gaurav, remember, because when there was a reference made by the Indian captain Surya Kumar Yadav in the post-match press conference, and he dedicated that win to the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack and to the armed forces. Remember, that was a point that the Pakistan Cricket Board could have gone ahead with and kind of explored that with the ICC, saying why a political statement. But they didn't do it because they knew they didn't have a leg to stand on. Their own captain in Mohammad Rizwan, when he was playing the World Cup right here in India, dedicated one of their victories to the victim in Gaza. They've been found guilty of that. Then there have been various other references, political references that they've made over the years. So I think this was that one area they could have targeted. They didn't, because as I mentioned, they didn't have a leg to stand on. So what did they do? They go to the match referee and say, listen, we do not want this match referee for the next game. And that is also a request that has now been denied, which has left Pakistan quite red-faced, I must add.
So, petty country. Sanjay Jha, you wanted to come in and Dr. Pooja. Sanjay Jha, quickly, sir.
I believe that this is a good platform for the BJP to publicly apologize to the families of the victims who got slaughtered in the Pahalgam massacre.
First ask your
Apologize.
party to apologize.
Sir, kindly let Mr. Jha complete. I'm coming to you.
For giving clean chit
You
to
can
Pakistani
apologize
terrorists.
today.
Let them
Apologize
apologize
to
for
the
giving
people of
clean
India.
chit to Pakistan.
Apologize
Operation
to the
Sandur.
victims'
Let them
families.
apologize for
Apologize
Balakot.
today.
Okay,
Questioning
one by
the
one.
Operation
Gentlemen, one by
Balakot.
Do
one.
it now.
Let them apologize for
Apologize
questioning
right
the
now.
surgical strike.
You
Let
should
them
apologize
apologize.
right now to the people of India.
You were
That's
kicked
it.
out of the party. You were
have
kicked out
the
of the party.
courage
You're
to
no man.
apologize to
You're
the
no man in
people
the
of
party.
Don't
India.
making
Please
personal
ask
comments.
for
See,
everybody
I'm
to
not
apologize.
not making personal
You are
comments.
making money. And we know who heads the ICC. He's the son of Mr. Amit Shah. We all know that. India knows it. You can't run away from it, Mr. Singh.
Mr.
Apologize
Sanjay
to the people
Jha,
of India.
Mr.
You are a
Sanjay
nice man.
Jha,
You are a nice man.
you
Apologize on
must, your
behalf of the
party must
BJP.
apologize and
Have the
make it
courage to
public. What
apologize on
is your
behalf of the
relationship
BJP.
with the Pakistani
You have the
deep
courage to
state?
apologize on
What is
behalf of the
what is
BJP.
this connection
Do
of the
it today.
Pakistan